Hello and welcome to a new video. My name is Caro. I am a visual artist from Peru. I currently live in Woodstock in upstate New York in the Hudson Valley in a beautiful forest. And on this channel, share a lot about my journey as an artist. I share behind the scenes of running my mega small creative business where I sell prints and paintings. And I also share a lot about what I believe is so important in creativity besides sitting down and actually creating. My family is from the jungles in Peru. My dad's side is from Tarapoto, my mom's side is from Iquitos, and from my Amazonian heritage, I truly believe that we are all one, we are all connected. I truly live my life by this cosmovision in the one we believe all plants and mushrooms carry medicine, they all carry specific spirit, and they all carry knowledge and wisdom to share with us humans whenever we are willing to hear their messages. And my artwork is all about the plants and the fungi, how they look to our naked eye, as well as how they look under the microscope. And I really wanted to make today's video because I feel this really speaks about what is important for me in creativity. I think it's so important to really show up and paint and get better and, you know, make horrible artwork until you love what you start creating. And I feel that there's so much more than beauty to art making. I feel it can be such a beautiful teacher and such a meditative practice, but I think that at least for me, the magic behind painting and creating in general is not only on the actual final piece, but I feel that a lot of the magic that art making carries for me, and I also feel that the spirit that each of the creations that I put out are so important because are much more than the actual final piece. I feel that the way that we are nourishing our lives, the way that we are gifting ourselves permissions to rest and to spend time in nature and to commune with plants are all so vital in really nourishing ourselves in order to keep creating and always having this like creative spark to keep going. So I could talk forever, but on today's video I'm sharing with you 5 ways that I love to nourish myself in order to stay creative. These are 5 practices that nourish my creativity, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. I couldn't start this video without first talking about the importance of immersing ourselves in nature. As I see it, and I am sure a lot of others do, immersing back in nature is the ultimate reminder of our own true nature. Our nature of being one with the elements, the plants, animals, and mushrooms. The most honest reminder that we are animals in earth. I feel spending time in nature reminds us of our own natural rhythms. It reminds us of the real reasons why we are here on earth. To be, evolve, witness, love, share, and enjoy. Nature is my muse. It not only directly inspires my art, but I truly believe it readjusts our breath, our bodies, and it resets us back to a more honest, human, present version of ourselves. Trying a new creative practice related to your current art project. This can be anything that would nourish your creative practice outside from the literal act of painting, drawing, or whatever it is that you do. For me, working with a microscope is one of those practices. Part of my paintings include painting microscopic plants and fungi, and instead of using macro photographers' photos, I make my own. This is directly nourishing my art practice as it invites me to know on a deeper level the microscopic world, and it helps me feel way more inspired to paint these micro beings later in time. For painting, I use natural earth pigment watercolors. So instead of just buying them pre-made, I am learning how to make my own watercolors from dirt and rock. This has been one of my favorite tools, which I started learning this year. The process of turning rocks into watercolors is very meditative, and I love the practice of collecting the rocks and see them turn into paintings later. In this category, I also include making videos, just like the video you are watching right now. On these videos, I get to share behind the scenes of my process as an artist through visual storytelling. Filmmaking isn't literally painting, of course, but it is a creative practice that is related to my art, as I share about it here, and it is also a creative tool in itself. Doing something creative which isn't related to your current art practice at all. These are practices that have nothing to do with your current art and which won't feed your practice directly, but in some level will still get your creative juices moving. What I love about these practices is that they are awakening a different part of our brains, bodies, or emotions, and they are still connecting us to creativity. For me, playing instruments has been one of these practices. This is something I started doing just a couple of years ago, and even though I have no formal training, nor I think I'm good at all, making music for the sake of having fun has been a very inspiring way to connect to a new language. If we see art as a portal to our inner world, playing with a new tool, like instruments for me, is a way of opening a door to a different universe. Photography has been one of these tools as well. I recently got back to shooting film, and even though I'm not fluent in that language yet, it is very exciting to be learning it again. I have a background in photography, but it's been a while since I did it as often as I currently am. Lastly, making drinks with plants and mushrooms is also one of my passions. I get very creative in the kitchen with making elixirs and different lattes to enhance different moods, and I enjoy it very much. It is an art in between the properties of the plants, the flavors, and making a drink attractive. I feel that here it isn't really important what our practice is, whether it's music, photography, poetry, or something else, but rather that we are playing with a new tool in order to stay curious and to awaken new ways of thinking, feeling, and making. Before we continue, I wanted to say thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace is the virtual home of my online shop, my website, art portfolio, and email campaigns. I've been using Squarespace in 2018 and highly recommend it to anyone looking to share their creative ideas or creative business online. Squarespace professional portfolio designs make it super easy to use and help showcase your art in the best way possible from any device. Their Fluid Engine tools are also a great way to customize just about everything on your website. We have partnered up to offer you a 2-week free trial, and once you're ready to launch, you can use the code Caro Arevalo in order to get 10% of your first purchase of a website or domain. My fourth practice to nourish creativity is to make time to go inward and connect to the mystery of life and creativity. Making time to do nothing, as a lot of people call it, is very important for creativity. If we are pushing all the time, it is as if we were uninviting the creative muse to our table. We have to make our practice attractive for ourselves. So by making space to go inwards, we can come back fresh and maybe with more downloads from our inner worlds. I love to do this through various types of rituals, from meditation to doing new and full moon ceremonies, communing with cacao or any other plant allies. To each their own. Maybe meditation doesn't work for you, but the invitation here is to spend more time alone and get to know yourself, your inner worlds, your mind, your emotions. Who are you when no one else is around? How can we start befriending ourselves, if not by getting to know ourselves in the first place? Lastly, learn from other artists. This could be by taking a class with another artist, joining them for a talk, a workshop, or a ceremony. I believe that when we spend time with our creators, we don't only get very excited about creativity in general, but it is also fascinating to see the spark in others, to learn about their process and their ways of awakening their creativity, feel how they connect to their craft, to their passion. Being able to speak with other like-hearted people about our tools and things that excite us all, I feel here we relearn and reconnect with why we like to create in the first place. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. I hope it was a little inspiring and that these practices inspire you to try out new ways to nourish your own creative practice. And before I say goodbye, I just wanted to say if you could make me the huge favor of leaving a comment on today's video, maybe sharing with me what are the current practices that are nourishing your creativity, or what are the practices that you want to start incorporating to nourish your creativity. This will be so helpful, not only because it's so inspiring to read about other people's experiences with their creativity, how they nourish it and how they make it keep evolving, but because it would also be so helpful for the engagement on this video. The more engagement that I get, then the more brands that want to work with me and the more possible it might be for me to keep creating artwork as my full-time livelihood. I thank you so much for spending and sharing your time with me. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, that you get to be in nature for a little while, or maybe just, you know, take it a little slower today. I feel that most of us don't give ourselves the time that we need to rest and go slower and nourish our own cup in order to then be able to nourish other people's cups. Anyhow, have a good rest of your day. I will see you on another video sometime soon. Bye.